Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. How you doing? I'm just going to turn on this light so we can have a little bit more lights, camera, action. There we go. Okay. So just waiting for people to join in. Please give me a few moments. I see two people have signed in. Hey, Robert, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Hello, hello, hello. And I hope you do have lots of questions as we move forward. I'm going to pin this comment, and thanks already for giving me a like. You are a rock star. Okay, and as you know, I'm working from home, so kids are here. My son's just coming down, and he's saying, "Papa, Papa," but that's what happens. So, okay, thanks, honey. I don't need any. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't need any. Do you want to say hello? Okay, that's good. Thanks for the love, man. They're just waiting for a few more people. This is my younger son, Khalid. Do you want to say hi? Robert Uncle is online. We're just waiting for a few more people to join in, and you can go. You could be over here because I've just got a few notes. Okay. Sorry, that's how it is. I'm just going to go ahead and invite a few people who may not have got the invite. So just give me a couple moments here. Robert, do you have any questions while we are waiting for a few more people? Okay, thanks so much. I appreciate that. I love hugs, and because it's inside the house, we are okay to not keep that physical distance.
I always do that since when I was 4. Now I'm 8.
Okay. So, might as well start. Robert, thank you. I see there are 5 people who are online. Thank you so much for joining. I can see 5 people who are watching. Colleen, thanks so much for joining as well. Much appreciated. I'm just going to see over here. Let's just see. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. So I'd like to start off by actually, if you can just type in the comments over here who you are, and while you're joining this, I will go ahead and read those out. So first, let's start with Colleen, please. Colleen, do you want to type in? We have a few more people who have joined. Okay, so I have somebody who they've decided not to disclose, and they've said that they've recently been laid off, and what they're going through is a little bit of mental health issues. I will be touching a little bit on that, and just to know that you're not alone. So that's what I'll be sharing. The other person has written, thanks so much for doing this. You're so welcome. It is my pleasure. You know, we are in this together. We are in this in these crises that's happening throughout the world. So know that you're not alone. Robert, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce you if you've not written down, is that I've met you at the Career Development Conference, and I've seen your presentations. You're very live and engaging and have that laughter piece, and you were there for the Hope Movement. So thank you so much for spreading hope and positivity that is so much needed in the world these days. I will now move on to and just respond to who I am and why I'm doing this. So a little bit of background. I have a human resources background. I worked for the city of Calgary and I managed a couple of I managed three big box retail organizations that I did their human resources for before to going on to the career advising and becoming a career strategist. So I've worked with so many people who have been displaced from jobs, and yes, it is a very stressful time, but know that these times will not last. And what we can do is that, yes, there is that hurt that's going on. Yes, there is, feeling of loss, feeling of, it's all part of that grief process. And we're going through that grief process. Know that these are the cycles. There will be anger, there will be lots of frustration that goes in. But what is important is recognizing that, yes, you do have those, and validating and allowing yourself to know that you are not alone in this. The other thing is reaching out for help. We're so good at saying that, everything is okay and not being authentic and honest. And that is going to be something that's not going to be helpful. So if you are feeling helpless, there is so much help that's available out there. So my ask is that in Calgary, I know the distress center, wherever you are in the world, there is help available. So please do not feel that you're alone in this. The next thing I'd like to go on to and talk about with that mental health piece is that when we're going through this and we are just seeing all the negative pieces, is to really wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is that gratitude piece. I don't know about you, but I found that really works for me. And with that gratitude piece is that, you then sit down and make a list of things that you have accomplished, your successes. Why am I saying this? Now, these could be successes that are in your professional life. These are successes that you've had in your personal lives, because when you do this, you're able to see and post it. Put it on a wall, make a vision board, is that this is where I was and this is where I want to go, and draw that map. This is where I was. These are the successes I've had. Because when you are applying for jobs, you're going to be marketing yourself. And how can you market yourself when you are feeling the sense of despair and loss and all of those? And that's what's going on right now. I see so much that's going on in the posts on social media, is that we are panicking and we are feeding into that frenzy and fear. And how can you move past fear? Is that you can say that, I've been through these kind of hardships in the past, and this is what I did. And that shows that you're able to bounce back. And when you bounce back, is you're able to think clearly, authentically, and you're able to share what benefit you're going to provide to your future organization. So lots of people say, well, I'm not in sales, I'm not in marketing. Guess what? You are. And if you are not in job search, you have a job because somebody responded via a Facebook Messenger, hey, thanks, I do have a job. And to which I respond, my mother-in-law always used to tell me this Mandarin proverb, and it was basically, dig your well before you're thirsty. When we have a job, we're like, oh, everything is fine. And so we look at lots of people, even my family members who are working at WestJet, who just laid off so many individuals just yesterday and day before yesterday. So dig your well, build your network, and apply for jobs. So here's what I'm going to talk about right now in applying for jobs. Should you be applying for jobs? Yes. and being strategic in applying for your jobs. And what do I mean by being strategic? It doesn't mean that you get on your computer the full day and frantically just go apply, 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 because what you're doing over there is you're spraying and praying. And when you spray and pray, it does not help, because the job of the recruiter is, I know that for a fact, because I would get these resumes and they would be all, they do not have, and you can see the desperation that it is totally, they don't meet the competencies. And when I worked for the city of Calgary, what I had to do was, when we had 2008 was a recession was going on. There was so many people that were unemployed, and we received tons of resumes. And I was in charge of the applicant tracking system. What is the applicant tracking system? It's when you upload your resume onto the organization's website. And when you do that, what happens is that the keywords are looked at. It then sees, does this person meet these? And if they have them, how many years of experience? Does it show that when we ask the questions, do you have 0 to 3 years of experience? And you needed a minimum of 7 years of experience, then you would be disqualified if you checked that box. 5 to 7, again, you'd be disqualified. Anything that was above 7 and over would be gone through. Now, we had, say, for example, 1,000 entries, 1,000 applications that met that. What my job was to do was to go in to the back end of the applicant. PeopleSoft is what I used. Sorry I said back end, but that's what it's called. And somebody can do the smiley face emoji there if you'd like. Is that I would then go and put the weighting on that question higher. So I would have less applications that we would be then manually going through, because we need to bring those down. It's not only one position that we are looking to hire. There were several positions. So think of the recruiter. What that recruiter has to do is to make sure that they are shortlisting maybe 10, and then they're going through and doing a telephone interview to see if you qualify. Or these days, this is not even what's happening. What they're doing is they're sending you this pre-qualifying question. They're going through and getting you to do a interview via video. So please, please, please embrace taking selfies, and then, yes, dip your big toe in the pond, which is the scary swampy pond of videoing yourself. Because what happens if you start doing that, you will start, it will hurt. Yes, you'll be breaking those muscle fibers, because you know when you go to the gym, what happens? It hurts. And when it hurts, what do? You stop doing it. So when you stop doing it, you stop doing the job search. This is going to hurt even more. This is your time, during this time, to network, to really polish off your resume, to really look at your LinkedIn profile. And yes, there are people who are there to help you with that. So look and really strategize who are those people who are able to do this for you, and go ahead and reach out to them and say, you know what, here's my resume. There's some that are going to be able to offer this at no cost, but remember that they too might be struggling, so they will be charging something. And the thing about this, when I was talking about the spraying and praying, it doesn't work. So invest in yourself and get your resume looked at and your LinkedIn profile critiqued. The next thing I'd like you to do is consider, okay, how am I going to network? Now, I'm a big believer in networking, and you know what? It's time to do this. I'm going to just pour this. Just give me a second. And this is calling having those chai conversations. So what I mean by those chai conversations, let me just take a sip. This is awesome. Is building a relationship. And when you build a relationship, lots of times people come and say, Alnur, I need help. Alnur, buy my product. It doesn't work that way. What works is that when you communicate and share, what did you see on their post, and build that relationship. You know what? Honey catches more than vinegar. So be kind, be nice, especially during this time. And I will I will share that in another video call like this, the live one. If you'd like, you could even drop me some messages of what you'd like to hear in the future calls. So please do not feel that that's not what I do. Yes, I am working from home, and the kids are home, so this is what you're going to see.
We're working in the basement.
Thanks, honey. So where am I going with this? Applying for jobs during the COVID time, yes. But this means that you're going to work on your network. And networking is not then going outside, because we're keeping the physical distance, but the social distance. You are really building those, that gym thing that I said, doing those video things, that networking thing. If you're an introvert, then this is the way you're going to shine, because you're going to target those people that you're going to really selectively ask to connect with. And how can you do that? Is by making sure that your LinkedIn profile is great. You're not just sharing what your title is. That's not who you are. Your title, your tagline, or your headline is the place where you are sharing your value proposition, where you are saying that this is what I'm marketing. I can get you from point A to B. And what our organization is looking for is for you to be able to solve their problems. So how are you solving problems? You have 120 characters there. Show that how you can help them there. Make sure you have a picture there, and make sure, please, that you have completed your summary. And the summary is not, I'm Alnur and I can do this for you. No, create a story, create an engaging hook, because when you do that, you're moving forward and you're sharing how you can, and add multimedia, add all those things, so it can be a place where people can say, okay, now look at the organizations that you'd like to work for. Okay, select 10. Find out the people who are working there. The thing I would like you to do is go and creep on those people's profile. What I mean by creeping is looking at their profile, look at what they're doing. Are they sharing any information? Are they posting posts or articles or videos? Comment on those, find out what's there. If they have any awards, send them a personalized invite and say, please, I saw this on your profile. I've seen that you're doing this. I really appreciate this, and I would like to connect with you. Next is that you can say, I found this post. Would it be helpful to you? And, that way you're building a relationship. You're engaging in their posts, in their articles, writing comments. And when you're doing that, you're building that relationship instead of that face-to-face. So introverts, this is your place where you're going to say, aha, because you're not really feeling that, you're going out of your comfort zone. And then after about the 5th or 6th, and remember, the touching point for sales could be the 7th or the 12th one. So be patient with yourselves. That is the important thing over here, is that when you're patient with yourself and you know that this is going to take time, then this is going to be helpful for you, right? And my son has just handed me this is actually a bubble maker. So have fun, guys, is the important thing. And know that these stressful times, for that resilience piece, is that when you have fun, you are able to then be able to laugh at all those things. It will help you. So
fun Having fun is important. That's what my mom told me yesterday because I went tobogganing for 2 hours.
That's excellent. Thank you. So I see that Wendy is here. Thanks for that. Love Shai is here. Thank you. Jalaluddin Jamal, thank you. Colleen, again, thank you. And Abdul Rahman, thank you so much. So I'm quickly going into the next piece that I was sharing is that, just give me a second here. Okay, just, sorry. Honey, I'll play with you in just a moment. Please give me, okay. So the next things that I would like to share about is that should you, yes, do your job search, should you still network, please do network. And then where to look for jobs. So where do you look for jobs is that there are so many organizations that are hiring right now. As an example, they are individuals that are, they are organizations such as Walmart. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, should I be applying for Walmart? Yes. If you are desperate right now for the job or for some monies, if you've just been laid off, then yes, apply for employment insurance because that is available to you. And they have waived that waiting period. There's so much information that's online. Please look at that. The next thing I would like to share is that if you're on LinkedIn, look at the jobs tab. There are jobs that are being posted there. The data is showing that yes, there are jobs that are available right now. There are supermarkets that are looking to hire. There's Amazon that's looking to hire. There are delivery places because lots of places have moved into the restaurants have moved into the delivery mode and go ahead and do that. I know my pharmacist has been delivering, but right now more so is that during the times of quarantine and during the times of stay-at-home folks, it is more important that people are staying home. So here is an opportunity. If you have a vehicle, make sure that you are making maybe even your alcohol-based sanitizers and all of those at home if you can't find them, using alcohol and using aloe vera gel or using aloe and all of that, so that you can make sure, and if you can't, use soap and water. Go to those places, apply online, and when you're applying or reach out via phone, the thing about this is that many of these organizations are also getting inundated with job applications. So practice some self-care, please, because when you're practicing self-care, when you're applying for jobs, it is going to be helpful that when you do not get the response right away, that you are going to be okay, right? How many of you are agreeing to this? How many of you are actually looking for jobs? Can you please either comment or please tap the love button to share that yes, you are being kind to yourself. I'm going to give a couple moments for this while I watch my son blowing bubbles and saying, hey, you know what? We all need the love. And so I'll just go and count mentally up to 15, and it'll wait for any comments that are coming over here. I see stuff, thank you. I see there are 18 comments, but just give me a couple seconds. I'm not sure why I cannot see them. Here we go. Shalina Jessa, thanks so much for joining. Sarah, thank you. It's okay. Introduce, good, excellent. Robert, my sense is that before COVID-19, employers are stuck on interviewing hire people with direct experience. You are so right. Transferable skills. Yes, yes, yes. This is something that you need to share on your LinkedIn profile. This is something that you need to share on your resumes. The jobs that you were, and this is what I shared even yesterday, is the jobs that you were working. It's not about that. I was just coaching a individual. Oh, I'm so sorry this is happening. I was coaching an individual on Zoom yesterday, He has moved here very recently. He also was a lecturer at Mauritius University, and he has taught in China. And he's like, well, I'm looking for any jobs. I'm looking for teaching. Well, I said, virtual teaching. What about being a trainer? So looking at and expanding those transferable skills and looking at maybe even the designing of curriculum, because these are things that he has. So thank you so much for sharing that. The transferable skills have they have even much more value, because the jobs that you have right now are changing. If they haven't changed right now, they are changing. So how are you going to embrace all of that? How are you going to be relevant? Is that what you have done? Look at your soft skills. The emotional intelligence piece is huge. It's massive, right? Nice to meet you, Wendy. Thanks for saying that. Robert, Minaz, thank you so much for joining. Shahid, Margaret, Musna, wow, love it. Gratitude to you too, Robert, Amin, thank you so much for joining. Rishma, Manji, thanks for joining. Abdul Rahman, thanks for joining. Robert, love that. Spring and praying. Yes, lots of people are doing that still. And, I had posted a job. I was looking for ESL trainers, and there were individuals that were applying that had no teaching skills. They had no, great for you to apply, but look at the job description. And I had close to 300 applications. Of those 300, I lied, there were 312 applications. Of those 312, I had a handful. I had 8, there we go. 8, I can't even count right now. 8 people, thanks, that had those that had direct experience, that had the transferable skills, that were able to go and travel, and they were able to hire again. They did not have direct experience, but what they did was they were able to showcase, because part of my ask was also to create a video and share it with me as to what would you teach a class of 3 to 5 year olds who English was not their first language. And there were some very creative videos there that were ones that were shortlisted to the top 3. So definitely there. Bill Raymond, thanks for saying good. Dean Hopkins, thank you for joining. Barb Sim, thank you for joining. Robert, thanks for the smiley face. PeopleSoft, yes, that is the applicant tracking software that I used to work with. Nazleen and Yazdan, thanks ever for joining. Jalaluddin, thank you. And yet, thank you so much. Aziz Vardi, thank you. It's who you know and who knows you, and that is that networking piece. I know we are very close to ending right now, but if that's okay, I will still stay online for a little bit longer here. The networking piece is that how do you get people to know you is by creating that brand. And what is the brand? Is what people talk about you when you're not in the room. How do you do that? Is what your customers know you by. So why am I doing this? Is that people were talking about me as a motivational speaker. Just today on LinkedIn, I shared my transformation piece. Back in 2010, I used to be over 380 pounds. And 2 years ago, I had lost about 180 pounds. I was sitting down. My stomach was coming out a bit because I was sitting down. Yes, I had put on about 10 pounds, honestly not more. And an acquaintance came and said, what are you doing? You're slipping. Are you crazy? You're putting your weight back on. Right away, negative scripting started. And so I started, these things were going on in my mind. And instead of being kind to myself, I was mean to myself, and I've gone to talk about those and do these motivational speeches. So my brand has also been on motivational speaking. So what I'm saying is that by creating these kind of videos, I'm telling people that I am a career and life strategist, where I bring in cognitive behavior therapy and help people with their career transition, with any of their losses of grief that they're going through, and we can do this. Shamil, thanks for joining. I think people have joined all the way from England. Latifa, thank you. Anisa, thanks for joining. Introverts can do videos. Yes, they can. Is it going to be hard? Yes, it's going to be hard. But can I tell you something, that when I first started doing videos, they were so awkward. They were so horrible. I remember sitting like this. Oh, sorry. Now you can see, yes. Oh, Daddy, you got big hands. And you know what? It made me realize that over time, there were things that I could do. So here's one thing, is when you need to prepare for your video interviews, look into where the camera is instead of looking at the screen, because the normal reaction is like, we'd like to see what is going on. Have good lighting. I am working with what I have. Have a microphone. Invest in those things if you can, and practice doing those videos with your friend, and then and share some of the videos that you've taken. Talk about day-to-day life of a job seeker, of what you're going through during the COVID times. There you go. Lots of people can relate. Employers will see that. They will see that, yes, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, it says that you can see a problem and you know ways to attack it. Even if it's not right, you are doing something. You are showing your future employer, even if you're not an employer, perhaps your future client, that, you know what, in times of crisis, you can step up. Yes, you can. That is the message. You need help? Don't be afraid to ask for help. Nisha, thanks ever so much for joining. I believe you might be in Arusha, if I'm not mistaken. Tanzil, thanks for joining. No viruses spread. Yes, spread love, because we all need love. No, employers are not anti-trust. That's right. Amy, thanks so much for joining. All the best in your new venture as a social media the entrepreneur. Zinat, Auntie, thanks for joining. What are your best advices for a solopreneur to leave this type of work and re-enter the workforce? Fantastic question. Is look, what are you doing right now? What is the impact you're providing to your client? What is the end result? So, do you like cooking? It's not the product. It's not the end result. It's not that. Talk about that process your client goes through. These are the things that your future employer is looking to do. Those are your skills. I hope this has helped there. Eunice, thanks for joining. Robert, do you mind giving me some love if I've answered that question? If you're still on, I appreciate you adding these questions. Direct skills and experiences versus transferable skills. That's right, because, as we are going through this, everything is changing. Thanks so much for the like there. As we are moving forward, jobs are disappearing. What is emerging is the future work trends that I've shared on LinkedIn as well. What is the future of work? Look at the hot jobs. If you have LinkedIn, please go on that. I will try and add those links to this when I'm sharing this. So when I'm creating a watch party, I hope you can join. The thing is that, excellent, Robert, you're helping other people articulate that brand. That is excellent. How about, going to businesses and saying, I think here is an area where is untapped. During the COVID times, this is one thing that you may not have thought about, is that you can actually work on your back-end marketing. You can work on your branding so that when people are ready to start buying from you, you are able to deliver that message, Robert. That's what you're going to share to employers. So Research. I think you're fantastic at research because you do deliver workshops and you do deliver lots of keynotes, and you were there for the Hope conference, so you had to research a lot. So research, look at LinkedIn. What kind of messages are employers sharing right there? Where is some of the missing links? And that is where you can leverage this. Show and tell opportunities. Bianca, thanks for joining. Salima Walji, Shivji, thanks for joining. Ask for help. I love that you've said that. Thank you for listening. Thanks for the green hearts. I love that. Parviz, thank you so much for joining. And let's see, are there any more comments over here? I'm just going to go back to this over here. Let's just go into and see over here. What else can I share over here that will be helpful? Okay, I think I have answered all the questions unless somebody else has any questions. Let's just go into my, so I know some people are thinking that, I will wait and write this out. Please don't. This is the time when there is a Gujarati phrase that I love to share. And by the way,
me too.
I am in the process of writing a book. It's a book on LinkedIn for job seekers. It's very much of a conversational book. It will be out, but I've had some life things that have happened, so it has been pushed back, so I do apologize about that. And here we go. The phrase is, Valso tevu lunso. And what that means is what you sow, so shall you reap. So right now is the time for you to plant your garden, is to plant. And so you can harvest those flowers, you can harvest those fruits, you can harvest those vegetables. Hey, I'm a pesco-vegetarian. And you know what? When you plant and put those seeds in, that is this time. That is the COVID time. And then what you need to do is you need to nurture that. How are you going to nurture that? You need to water it. You need to give it TLC. You need to give yourself some TLC. If you can't go for massages, maybe you can't afford. I do this at night. I've got some, tears in my shoulders, so I have to give these tears as well. Massages, not tears. And so give yourself some tub baths, all of those kind of things. And be kind to yourself. That is a huge thing. And when you're being kind to yourself, then you can be able to weed that garden of any of the things or the pests that are coming in. My son has just dropped some of the, honey, do you mind going and getting some tissue paper? Because this is all going laptop. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. This is what happens. My apologies. So take those weeds out is the other thing. And the main thing is don't look at what has worked in the past, because what has worked in the past may not work right now. And look at what other people are doing. Maybe there are some ideas that they have that you can leverage. This is the time is not to reinvent the wheel, but really looking at what has worked for others and how that can work for you. I think I will need a little bit more paper there, honey. Sorry, guys, there. It is, that is what happens when we do live, when we have kids. And as a solopreneur, as a prentrepreneur, this is what goes on. There are 7 other comments that I'm going to go through. Oh, thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for these guidelines. You are welcome. That's what I'm here for. Yes, I will share your link. Robert, we are here together. So Robert's is a link, and I will pin this comment It's www.businessideas.work.ca. We are here for each guys and spread love, spread this like it's going out of style. Have you been to a party? I know we can't go to a party, but you know what? Right now, you're feeding into me. I'm getting so much love here. Is that I have people over here. Is that what happens is that when you go to a party and the New Year's, when the confetti rains down and you sprinkle that confetti around, what is that feeling? Capture that joy feeling and sprinkle that joy around on social media and help each other out. And so if you do that, yes, Robert, a book, but you know, I need to. I'm working on my mental health as well right now, as I've been through quite a kicker. But I am hopeful, and I'm not just working on hope. I'm taking steps and strides while it's going on. So thank you so much for you know, being patient. Dara, thanks for joining. She is from my hometown back in Mombasa, Kenya, where it's the island life and white sands and warm breezes and all of that. Ashiana, Alibai, thanks for joining. Be a gardener, plant, nurture, and grow. That's so right. Positive mental health, you know, self-care, that is so important. And when kids are playing with their toys, sometimes you just get down and play with that. I went tobogganing with them. Yes, was I afraid? I was very afraid. But the thing about that is I faced my fear. And when I went down, it was so much fun. And I'll share those videos as well. Thank you, Laura. My son really adds to this. Life happens. It's delightful to see your interaction with him. And this is the thing, is that 2 weeks ago, did we ever predict that we were going to be in the house? This is what it is that life happens. And my son coming in this video is life happens, and we embrace these things. And if I was not taking self-care and mental health, this is what I'd be doing. Please go up. That's what I'm talking in English and like, I'm sorry. But no, this is what we do. It's just, that is what it is. And thank you, Alder Dhala, thanks for joining. Yes, he goes by I am Al-Nur as well sometimes. And Robert, he loves to play is what he's saying. So the thing is, as adults, we have forgotten to play. And with play comes the creative expression. And with the creative expression comes the ability to face life's challenges. And being able to face life's challenges shows that you're resilient. And folks, just a little thing over here. Back in 2010, I used to be over 380 pounds. The memories piece yesterday came up for me, and it was about a person that I got an acquaintance that came and said to me, this was in Moscow, sitting down. By this time, I'd lost 180 pounds. And I'd gained 10 pounds by then because, again, with life's things, I'm trying to work and understand that, you know, when adversity hits, it's not going back to those old neural pathways. I've created new neural pathways, and it's that understanding that, yes, the neural pathways you can shift back. And those neural pathways were to eat. And so when he pointed and said, what are you doing? You're slipping, you've put on weight. It went into negative scripting, and I've shared that on LinkedIn. It's that I did not practice self-love. And we're practicing that self-love again, which is very important in times like these. And it helps you with that resilience. And it helps you when you're applying for those positions is to strategize and looking at organizations where you can reach out to their network and connect with 10 people first. Slow, micro steps. You don't have to build it right away, because if you go too fast, you're going to fall down and you're not going to do it at all. So my closing thoughts over here are know that this is going to take time. Reach out for help. If you are able to invest in yourself, invest and get your resume looked at. and look at it that, these individuals that are those resume writers, they need to be able to look at the jobs that you're applying for, being strategic, looking at what's the language there. Does your resume have the keywords? And does your LinkedIn profile have those keywords? Are you able to articulate? And having a coach who's able to move you past the blockage. Because when you're able to articulate the strengths that you have, when you're able to articulate what you deliver, is that the times and you are on that video interview, it is very hard. You are sharing your strengths. You are sharing, and you have a very limited time to be able to do that. And you are sharing those on your videos and that. And that's how you're going to create your brand. Thank you so much for those who have stuck around. My prayers that you are staying safe. You are clean hands, clear heads, and open hearts, because we are in this together, right? It's hard to do this. I have to remember, I have to go the opposite way than what the screen shows. But you know what? My love to you all. Thanks so much for sticking around. Alnur, my website is iamalnur.com. My email is alnur@iamalnur.com. So do reach out, and yes, we can do this. I'm blowing air kisses, and have those try conversations online. Bye-bye.